Hi, it's Katrina! From fluffy caterpillars that will knock you down to strange spiders, here are 10 of the creepiest bugs ever. Number 10. Furry Puss Caterpillar. The Furry Puss Caterpillar looks like someone lost their toupee. But not only is its hair pretty strange, it is also the most venomous caterpillar in the US. While it might look soft and fuzzy, do not touch this toxic toupee. Underneath its deceptively soft-looking fur are toxic spines that easily stick to human skin. Even the slightest brush against the caterpillar is enough to cause excruciating pain. Stings are so painful, especially for kids, that they are known to result in hours of blood-curdling screams and occasionally even land children in the hospital. Kids are often stung by furry puss caterpillars by petting them, since they look bizarrely cute at first glance to some, or by stepping on one while playing barefoot outside. And these creepy crawlers also fall from trees and land on people. Entomologist Don Hall told National Geographic, "A puss caterpillar sting feels like a bee sting, only worse. The pain immediately and rapidly gets worse after being stung, and can even make your bones hurt." He added that the level of pain depends largely on where a person is stung. Have you ever encountered one of these caterpillars? Let me know in the comments below. Puss caterpillar populations seem to be on the rise, especially in the southeastern US, where children are increasingly turning up at hospitals with stings. Florida mom Angela Staggs, who rushed her 5-year-old son to the emergency room with a bite on his foot, described the terrifying ordeal to CBS News. She said her son was screaming bloody murder and started to hyperventilate. At first, it took her a while to figure out what had happened to him. She had heard about the caterpillar, and when she saw something fuzzy on the porch, she said her heart sunk. She scooped it up in a plastic bag and took it and her son to the doctor. On the bright side, while the puss caterpillar sting is excruciating, it's non-fatal. If you think you have been stung, don't panic. The Poison Center recommends to place Scotch tape and peel it off repeatedly to remove the spines and to apply ice. If it gets worse, it's best to go to the doctor. Number 9. Panda Ant. Who doesn't want to hug a panda bear? They're black, white, and cuddly all over. But what about the panda ant? It's furry too, right? But this little critter is actually a wasp, and you shouldn't touch a wasp, probably ever, if you can help it. While the male panda ant has wings and looks a lot more like our notion of a wasp, the female does not have wings, looks just like a little itty-bitty furry panda, and has a nasty stinger that can send you skipping away in horrible agony. Its other nickname is cow killer, but its sting isn't the deadliest or the most painful, which goes to show you how extreme they can be. Native to South America, they are parasitic and belong to the family of wasps known as Mutilidae. There are around 7,000 of them whose females resemble large furry ants. Also known as velvet ants, they can be found in all kinds of colors, and while they are pretty and very interesting, you should stay clear from this creepy, deceiving wasp. And now for number 8, but first I want to give a big shout out to JR Zippy and Jordan Clark. Thanks so much for your support and for sharing it with your friends. We love you! If you are new here, be sure to subscribe before you go. Number 8. Centipedes. With all their legs bursting from their sides, centipedes are the definition of creepy crawlies. And on top of that, they are venomous. Centipedes evolved from some of the world's most ancient venomous terrestrial predators. There are roughly 8,000 modern species of these carnivorous arthropods who possess anywhere between 30 and 354 legs, one pair per body segment, with some species growing up to a foot long. In Asia, the giant centipede has a fearsome reputation. They are huge, and they will bite anything they can overpower, from frogs to mice to bats, with enormous pincers. A bite from one of these centipedes is extremely painful, and the pain can last for 4 or 5 days. Severe swelling and bruising often results from being bitten. Some people may suffer more adverse effects such as breathing difficulties and a rapid heartbeat. As if they weren't creepy enough based on looks alone, centipedes are also capable of inflicting painful bites, which can be especially harmful to children and those who are allergic. Even more surprising, their venom is widely varied, and scientists are still trying to understand it. A study released last year by the Natural History Museum revealed that among 5 existing orders of centipedes, their venom underwent complex evolution 5 separate times. The scientists originally expected to find that complex centipede venom evolved among early specimens, giving them an advantage over both predators and prey, but as it turns out, this is not the case. To our surprise, centipede venom emerged as a simple toxin cocktail of about 4 components, and centipede venoms remained relatively simple cocktails for about the first 50 million years of centipede evolution, said study lead Dr. Ronald Jenner. Instead, complex centipede venom evolved independently among the 5 orders after they separated from one another. We found that different centipede orders have completely different venoms, with no single component shared between all the orders, Jenner explained. However, if you find a house centipede, you shouldn't kill it because they actually can be a good thing. They will kill other pests in your house that are worse, like roaches, flies, silverfish, and termites. If they are in your house, it might be because there is food for them there. Number 7. Saddleback Caterpillar. Native to eastern North America and also found in parts of Mexico, including south of the Yucatan Peninsula, the saddleback caterpillar is colorful but creepy. It has a bright green body and is brown on either end, with a saddle-like white-ringed red dot on its back. Specimens have fleshy horns on either end and are covered in hollow, poisonous hairs. It's probably wise to take this creature's vibrant coloring as a sign to stay away from it, as coming into contact with one can cause a painful rash, swelling, and nausea. But it's not always easy to avoid saddleback caterpillars, who feed on plants and sometimes fall out of trees. On you, when you're just minding your own business. I was stung by one years ago while harvesting okra, Randy Drinkard recounted in a Center for Urban Agriculture article. It literally knocked me to the ground. More severe symptoms can occur, including anaphylactic shock, hemorrhaging, gastrointestinal symptoms, and migraines, just to name a few. While these symptoms are rare, even a harmless sting is painful. Number 6. Scorpion fly. Native to Europe and northern Asia, the common scorpion fly comes from the ancient Mecoptera insect order, which dates back to 250 million years ago and contains some 550 million species. The scorpion fly is named for the curved tail that males possess, giving them an eerily scorpion-like appearance. This appendage is called a clasper, and it's used for mating. Scorpion flies also have distinctive yellow and black beaks, which they use to feed primarily on dead insects. Many people are frightened at the mere sight of these insects, despite their kind of small size of up to 1.2 inches long, with a 1.4-inch wingspan. But scorpion flies are completely harmless to humans, proving that looks can be deceiving. They are non-venomous and they do not bite or sting, and their claspers and beaks, which look like weapons at first glance, are used strictly for their designated purposes: feeding and reproduction. Number 5. Eastern Hercules beetle. Hercules beetles are so named for their immense strength, which bug enthusiast Michael J. Ropp described in a 2019 Bug of the Week article, stating, "When placed in a terrarium with a tightly fitting lid on my kitchen counter, the male Hercules beetle easily lifted the lid, climbed out, and went for a stroll around my home." The Eastern Hercules beetle is a rhinoceros beetle species hailing from the Scarabidae family. It's related to Japanese and Oriental beetles, as well as other Hercules beetle species. At up to 2.4 inches long and 1.1 inches wide, the Eastern Hercules beetle is the longest and heaviest beetle found throughout the U.S. In addition to their muscle, males possess 2 long horns, one protruding from their thorax and another which stems from the head. The horns vary in size depending on the availability of food while the specimen was growing, and can grow noticeably large. Beetles use their horns primarily for competing over mates. It's understandable to fear the Hercules beetle's horns, which look plenty capable of inflicting damage, but these creatures only use their horns to fight each other, and are a complete non-threat to humans. So if you see the Eastern Hercules beetle or one of its similarly equipped relatives, there is no reason to panic. Number 4. Giant Weta. In most cases, the bigger an insect is, the creepier it is. This statement certainly applies to New Zealand's giant Weta, whose name means god of ugly things in the Maori language. It's the world's heaviest reliably recorded insect, with the largest specimen weighing 2.5 ounces, or about the same weight as a tennis ball. The cricket-like bug, which grows up to 4 inches long and can outweigh a mouse, is one of 70 Weta species throughout New Zealand. Unlike crickets, the giant Weta is too heavy to jump or fly. Its flightlessness results from the historical lack of terrestrial predators throughout its natural habitat, which gave the creature no evolutionary need to develop this ability. Based on its size alone, encountering a giant Weta might not be high on your bucket list, but this prehistoric-looking insect, which appeared on the fossil records as early as 190 million years ago, does not sting and is essentially harmless to humans. In fact, its strongest defense against people is its musky odor, and the giant Weta has more reasons to fear us than the other way around. During the 13th century, the first humans arrived in New Zealand, bringing predators with them in the form of rats. These rodents wreaked havoc on the wildlife there, including the giant Weta, which was considered extinct on New Zealand's mainland in 1960. Today, it only lives on select predator-free islands and is captively bred to ensure its survival. Giant Wetas are making a comeback thanks to the implementation of protection laws and scientists' efforts to restore the species by establishing self-sustaining populations. Number 3. Africanized honeybees. Chances are you probably already find bees creepy, mostly because they have the capacity to inflict painful, irritating stings. So you probably prefer to keep a healthy distance from these creatures, even if you know some species are beneficial to the environment, including the human population. But sometimes there's a good reason to fear bees beyond the typical desire to avoid a sting. In 1957, several African honeybees escaped captivity in Brazil and bred with European honeybees, creating what's known as the killer bee, or Africanized honeybee. The two are similar in appearance, with killer bees being slightly smaller and carrying less venom, which on one hand makes them less dangerous in a sense. But these hybrid populations are far more aggressive than the standard European honeybee and have killed over 1,000 humans since they were introduced in Brazil. Killer bees respond to threats 10 times faster than their European counterparts, and in larger numbers. They more vigorously pursue their target, and they inflict up to 10 times as many stings. Nobody likes to receive a bee sting because it hurts. Africanized honeybee stings can cause local pain, itching, swelling, and can also cause an allergic reaction with breathing difficulty, heart irregularity, seizures, shock, and death. Serious kidney, muscle, liver, brain, and lung damage can result. A hive of killer bees defending their nest is going to be pretty scary, although they are just slightly more aggressive than other bees. I would be more afraid of the Asian hornet, personally. The good news is that, like other honeybees, killer bees are not out to kill, as their name implies. They tend not to show too much aggression unless they feel obligated to defend their home. In other words, you stay out of their way, and they'll stay out of yours. Number 2. Ogreface spiders. For those with a fear of spiders, the Ogreface spider might seem like a terrifying critter. With their large black eyes and permanently angry look, it's hard to be their friend. These long, slender spiders are known for their unique method of catching prey. The net-casting spider is easily recognized by its spindly legs and 3 rows of large, round eyes on the front of its face. Because of this, they are also known as the Ogreface spider. While these bulging eyes and strange facial structure may be a little unnerving, they are designed specifically for the nocturnal species to be able to see and hunt in the dark. Like the Roman gladiators who trapped their opponents with nets, these guys prepare an intricate web that looks like a fish net that it will hold by the 4 corners with its 4 front legs. This silk net has 400 to 600% stretch capacity and looks like a relaxed rubber band. The spider will give it a few tugs and then hang upside down waiting for its prey. When the spider detects something, it will launch itself forward, snapping the net on its prey and smothering it. If the spider has a bad day and doesn't catch anything, it is either eaten or hung on a nearby branch to use another day. Number 1. Driver ants. If you thought fire ants were bad, just wait. Driver ants are mean, aggressive, and deadly. Whether you call them driver ants, safari ants, or by their Swahili name siafu or something else, these creatures all come from the Doralist genus of army ants, and they are all equally terrifying. They are some of the world's largest ants, and they also form the world's largest ant colonies, with each numbering as many as 22 million. And if this huge pack of ants this big doesn't creep you out, I don't know what will. Found from southern Africa to tropical Asia, driver ants are nomadic, stopping periodically and setting up temporary colonies for anywhere from a few days to a few months. They tend to stick around until the food supply is depleted, at which point they travel in a militaristic fashion to their next destination, forming a massive line as they march along, with worker ants in the middle and attack ants on either side, acting as guards. Driver ants are carnivorous, chomping down on anything in their path that gives them the opportunity. While they typically feed on earthworms, they are not picky eaters and are known to consume basically any creature they can overpower. These fearless ants will eagerly attack snakes, birds, mammals, and even humans, and even if they are unlikely to kill their target. Driver ants have a painful bite thanks to their powerful jaws. Once one has latched onto a person's flesh, it's extremely difficult to remove them. Attacks are rarely fatal, but if a person is unable to flee an advancing colony, they could possibly perish. Thanks for watching! What type of bug creeps you out the most? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon. Bye!